I was like, that doesn't look like the content. Where did we get this topic from? I mean, it's a good topic. Just...
A soda was in their email.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird. I didn't see that.
It was. It was yesterday.
Maybe I heard it. Maybe I don't remember if I read the transcript or if I just listened.
I don't know.
I listened to every one, so.
I don't know. It was in the email. I don't know if they talked. I didn't.
Was it auto collabs or was it like a daily?
It was just a daily email that I get. 500-mile range Tesla, but only for China. Oh, I don't know if we talked about it yet, but GM set the world record for longest range Silverado.
We did.
1,056
miles or something like that.
Which I went through and I was like, nobody's gonna drive like that. Did you read like what they did? They essentially drove
25 miles an hour or something like that. Yeah, Jared talked about that last time. That was 2 weeks ago.
All right.
We got mics. What are we doing?
We got the mic right there.
That's it?
That's it. That's all you need.
Really?
Yep.
Picks up everything.
Does it really?
For the most part, yeah.
Need to put those on a drone for the NFL.
No, they have the like wire cameras now that literally are just, you can literally like a 360.
Right. Well, those actually make the most sense. The other leagues, the XFL and the whatever the other one was,
UFL,
that use actual drones.
Just no idea.
I mean, I can't believe that nobody's got hit with one of those things because they go close. Like they're down like maybe not even 10 feet off the ground. I can't believe that nothing has happened yet where it like fell on the ground, somebody stepped on it, got hurt. Like I can't, or hit them in the face, although they're wearing masks. But
There is a viral post going on in the car sales world that apparently was not as viral as I thought it was, because Mike didn't know about it, but we're going to discuss it today because it got us both thinking about price. How much do we actually talk about price, and do we shy away from the thought of talking about price here at Mohawk Honda? Well, today we're going to talk about that, but before we do, if you haven't been here before, I'm Nate, this is Mike, this is Mohawk Table Talk, where every week we're bringing you tips and tricks to make sure that you're an educated car buyer. And typically it's on Tuesday, but you know,
This is a special.
better late than never, and today is so nice we had to do it on the patio.
It's beautiful. So if you're not familiar with where we are, we continually say we're going to do it from the patio, and we're finally doing it. It's
Finally.
That's right. So it's not Tuesday. It's Friday. It's August 15th. It's right in the middle of the month, and it's absolutely beautiful weather here in upstate New York. So again, like Nate said, thank you. If this is your first time watching Mohawk Table Talk, we appreciate it. Please continue to tune in. Normally, we come to you live or on a replay on Tuesday at 12:30, but we changed it up a little bit, and we're happy to chat. But we wanted to bring you what our opinions are. We're going to chat about this in our main segment, about that Reddit post, specifically because we received some feedback both from customers and other staff members, and I did hear about it. I just didn't read. You can get lost in those, right? You can get lost in reading all those comments. So we wanted to address the price issue, and when we're talking about price, we're talking about when you get a price from a car dealer, like the price of the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a price quote. That's what we mean.
Price
a price quote.
Yep.
Yeah.
So essentially, let me pull up the Reddit post.
Yeah, just so you know what the kind of the
So someone asked, I worked with a manufacturer dealership in the area, not this area. This is from a Reddit post, so this could be anywhere in the nation. We're trying, and he asked his sales manager, who doesn't want us to talk about price until the customer loves the car. That's kind of the essential.
And the post is
Summary.
from a salesperson, right?
The post is from a salesperson.
Right, okay.
He's asking other people, what should I do? And essentially the manager's word track was, if you don't love the car, doesn't matter how much it is, let's go see if it's the right fit for you.
Right.
Which you can kind of see, especially us being in the automotive world, we kind of see that side of things, but there's a better way to go about it. So we're going to discuss a little bit more about that. Before we do that, we have a few things. If you missed it, we had the Drive for Inclusion car show that happened this past Sunday at our Mohawk Chevy dealership. So make sure you go out, check that. Come on up. You're good. So if you missed that, make sure you go to our Chevy page and check out the video from that. It was for the Special Olympics. All the proceeds went there. Great time. Thankfully, there was some beautiful weather there.
Yeah, and a lot of cool cars.
A lot of cool cars. I think the quote from Jared was, it was very car showy, if that makes sense.
So if you could picture a car show, that's what we had.
Yes.
All right. Well, that was the goal. That was the goal. But the real goal was to make sure that that Drive for Inclusion for Special Olympics, that we obviously are a big supporter of Special Olympics. So please, any events that we are involved with, that you can be involved with, we certainly appreciate it, and we'd love to see you there. We have some coming up too, so that's going to be cool.
100%. And make sure you check out for next Tuesday. We are going to be donating a vehicle to Living Resources. So maybe we'll be live for that. That giveaway, that donation that we'll be doing. This will be actually the second vehicle I believe we're giving to Living Resources. And if you don't know what Living Resources is, it's a nonprofit that allows those with disabilities to make it to different places throughout the capital region. So it's a mobility source for those individuals to be productive and get into the community. And do what they need to do.
Yeah, really proud. In fact, I mentioned to Nate just before we started that I saw the vehicle out back.
Yeah.
I won't let the cat out of the bag yet, but it's a really neat vehicle. But most importantly, it's getting those folks to where they need to go. We're super proud to be involved. I couldn't be more proud to be part of the Mohawk team that makes that happen. So next week, tune in and check that out. That's a big part of what we do here. It's part of our community.
And we're coming into fall. I mean, we're halfway through
Don't say
August.
it. We're not there yet, but it's
When's
80.
the official day of fall again?
I think it's third week in September. Is
Third
that right?
week in September.
So we're like a month away.
So we're a month away.
Yeah.
We still got some time.
Yeah, we still got
but
plenty of time.
Maybe it'll be a mild fall like we've had in the
That's
past,
right.
where it's November, it's still 75, 80 degrees. Even we hit December and 90 degrees. Weather shows up somehow, some way.
I think and Nate might be in this category. If you have kids who are going back to either daycare, preschool, or school or at all, you're probably thinking about those back to school sales already. Believe it or not, right? It's only a couple weeks away.
It's definitely back to school season, so make sure you're checking out all of the wonderful lease specials we have here at Mohawk Honda, Mohawk Chevrolet, because there's some good ones. We should definitely talk about the EV tax credit.
Yes.
Before we get into the main segment, we like to do some local automotive news. The EV tax credit is going away soon. What's the date for that?
September 30th.
September 30th. So you have a little bit over a month. And I was actually talking to a friend of mine, and he was considering an EV. Actually, he was considering a hybrid. He was considering buying a Honda Insight. And so I got talking with him. We had another person in our chat, and she mentioned she's been an all EV family for a decade now, since 2015.
Okay.
Which, I mean, at that point, the EVs available were very slim.
Yep.
I think you had a Nissan Leaf and a Tesla, and that was probably about it.
Yeah, and now you have a huge amount. I mean, there's almost every manufacturer has something to offer.
But he was talking about how, thinking about this tax credit of how much you're able to put down. So if you're able to put maybe, let's say, 6,000 or 7,000 right down on a vehicle, you're actually getting that almost matched, because right now the tax credit is $7,500, and then here in New York it's still $500. So you're essentially, obviously, restrictions apply. So make sure you reach out to us to see if you qualify for that rebate for New York and the federal government tax rebate. But essentially that would be almost matching. So you're almost putting $15,000 down on a brand new vehicle.
Right, and that's a huge amount of money. And keeping in mind there is a used EV tax credit that also is scheduled to go away on September 30th. And we touched on this the last couple of weeks, kind of give them a little countdown here, because at this point there's about 6 weeks remaining.
About 6 weeks, yep.
There's about 6 weeks remaining to take advantage of that. So we keep bringing it up. The EV tax credit is still. We got burgers.
We got burgers and dogs. It is grilling season here at Mohawk Honda, and we talked about getting a burger, and our producer didn't even get us a burger. Didn't even bring it up.
That's right. He made his way around, but we'll share that. We'll share that with you shortly. But anyway, to recap, so that we have about 6 weeks left for you to take advantage of the EV, the Clean Vehicle Tax Credit, right? Which is the federal credit of the $7,500 on new vehicles, and up to $4,000 on used EVs, right? And this is specifically on EVs. There are qualifications that need to be met with household income and a few other things. So we'll happy to run that down with you at either store if you contact us. But the recent legislation put in place that this was going to end on September 30th. After September 30th, it's not going to be available anymore. So if you're one of those folks who's even thinking about an EV, or you're already an EV family and you're going to add to the family or whatever, make that move before September 30th, because you don't want to be caught out there in flux, and we're not sure what the market's going to look like after that as it relates to vehicle EV prices and how the manufacturer is going to handle that. So that's our warning. We got a 6-week warning at this point. There's still stock at both Mohawk Honda and Mohawk Chevrolet. We have vehicles, so please reach out to us, and we're happy to kind of run you down exactly what's how you can take advantage.
Yep. We're always here for you. Make sure that you understand what's going on, because we do know that an educated buyer is the best buyer. We truly believe that. And that's why we have this show. We want to make sure that you know what's going on and that you can make the decision that works best for you. Speaking of decisions, the choice to talk about price or not at a dealership. Now, we kind of vaguely talked about the Reddit post that's available and I'm actually going to put this in the Facebook chat right now. So if you want to take a look at it, you can.
Yep.
But people want to know, and I'm sure customers want to know too, do we talk about price? And do we shy away from it? Because essentially this post is saying skirt around the talk about price until you absolutely need to. And there is, I guess, a little, in my mind, when I think about that, okay, we do need to make sure that you have the right car, right? We want to make sure you're not coming in, I could tell you a price on a Pilot Black Edition, but if you need a HRV Sport, it's not going to matter what the price is, right? So in that context, I do get it. But if we're thinking about how most people, I think, would take a look at this, would be the malicious intent behind skirting around the price and trying to pull the wool over a customer's eyes, which is not the case here at Mohawk Honda at all.
That's right. So I can answer that as one of the managers who works in the sales department and handles customer pricing questions all the time. And I can only speak to Mohawk Honda. Can't speak to all the dealers out there or the Reddit post. We're not even sure what dealer that person worked with. So obviously, all we can do is answer for us. And the answer is Mohawk Honda is happy and glad to give pricing. Right? We know that that's a big factor in deciding whether you're going to buy a car or not, or even if you're going to take the next step of buying a car, right? So we're happy to give a price. Like Nate mentioned, what is important is we want to make sure that if there's some intricacies to pricing, right? The price of a vehicle, that's a pretty simple thing to answer. But if what most people mean when they say pricing, they mean how does the rest of the factors in my purchase how are those included? Meaning, I have a trade vehicle. What's the value there? I have maybe a monthly payment format I'd like to see, and maybe buying the car, meaning payments to buy the car or payments to lease the car or both. So there's a lot of things that can go into a price. So the context in the Reddit post wasn't really specific. It just said price. So we don't know if that meant like the dealer wasn't happy about giving a price just how much the car was, or did it mean that they were trying to get a payment? We don't know that. So I figured I would just answer for Mohawk Honda and say we're happy to give any of that pricing information to somebody. However, we certainly want to make sure that somebody is on, the vehicle that they're asking for a price on is in, fits the parameters of what they asked for. So This really comes down to communication. We continue to talk about our entire team are happy to be consultative and give some advice on especially vehicle selection. Right, so I'll just give you a quick example. We frequently deal with folks and chat with folks and friends and relatives that need to have space for 5 or 6 people or 7 people because that's how big their family is, right? So, in that scenario, we certainly would want to make sure that the vehicle that we're suggesting has room for those people, because you're not going to leave a family member at home, right? So we want to make sure that if that's the case, that maybe a Honda CRV. Right. Maybe that's not the vehicle because that only seats 5 people. Maybe a Honda Pilot or something like that, or an Odyssey might be a better choice because that seats 7 or 8 people, right? So if that same person didn't realize that a CRV only sat 5 people, we might make that suggestion that, maybe consider one of the 7 or 8 passenger vehicles, and let's talk about pricing on that vehicle to see if it works for you, instead of giving pricing on a vehicle that doesn't match somebody's request. Right. So kind of like you said, it kind of depends. We want to make sure that somebody's on the right car. Does that make sense? Is that I'm not sure if that addresses the Reddit thread or not, but that kind of we want to make sure we're putting everything together, right? Not just price. We want to put everything together.
And I think that's the biggest thing too, is like the main. I think there's more to what meets the eye when a customer asks about price. Yes, everybody has their budget, but I think at the same time, there's that thought of, can I trust who's in front of me to tell me what I'm looking for? Or are they just in it for themselves and their payday? And I think that's really where this question of, well, what's your best price? What is the price of the vehicle? I think that's really where this is coming from, is, are you a business that wants to actually do business with me as what we say is like the Mohawk family? Like, are you taking care of me, or are you just being the stereotype of what I think a dealership is,
Right.
and you're just looking at me like I'm just another car,
Yeah.
right? So I think
Yeah.
that's where this question has, where the customer question comes from is the price.
Yeah, I when I read part of that thread, and I didn't read it as extensively as Nate did, but it seems like that the comments and so forth were insinuating that maybe the dealer that gave that answer about not giving price was like playing games or something.
Right.
Like, we're going to withhold that information from you. And I can assure you, especially at Mohawk Honda, we don't have anything to withhold. We'd love to give you. This is the information age, right?
Right.
I mean, you can click in our show notes right now of this information-based, podcast and see the thread, and you could have already looked at it by the time I'm done talking. So we're all about giving the information, and that's the whole point of this podcast. And so it's very important. I would say to each person, to each their own. But I think most people like the fact that Mohawk gives information as much as somebody would like.
Yeah.
And we certainly want to, use our expertise to make sure the person is looking at the right car and all that kind of stuff too. But, hopefully that addresses, I think that our point of view is just much different than what that dealer in that Reddit thread said, where they weren't going to give somebody a price. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe
Until
I'm
they,
reading it
quote
wrong.
unquote, love the
Yeah.
car. Yeah, I mean, we definitely don't do that. And I think another question is like, I actually just lost my train of thought. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, well, and there's a number of things involved there, because when somebody requests a price, there could be a lot of different scenarios. If somebody just comes onto the dealership lot and likes a bunch of cars because they're all pretty cool and just would like a price on the vehicle to know if it's in their range that they've already determined works for them,
Right.
then absolutely, somebody should always get a price. That might be one scenario. A second scenario might be somebody that's already determined that they want to buy a certain type of vehicle, right? And I've heard from customers, I've heard from people that were shopping, that they know they want to buy a certain type of vehicle. It's new, and they feel it's the same at each dealer. And they asked a different dealer about a price, and the dealer said that they weren't going to give it to them until something happened, like until you come to the dealership, or until we pull your credit or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that certainly, I think, would rub me the wrong way if I were a customer.
Right.
In that second scenario, Mohawk Honda, we're happy to give you a price. We're happy to discuss with you what the parameters of the pricing are, whether it's payments or credit or anything like that. But we don't resist folks on that. And I think that's why a lot of people kind of gravitate toward us, just to kind of hit on that point. Because that's the other way that I kind of took that Reddit post was, maybe the dealer wanted to withhold some pricing.
Yeah, gatekeeping information
exactly.
in an information age is actually kind of difficult, I would say.
That's a much better way to put it.
Yeah, gatekeeping information on what they think the customer may or may not want to hear. But I think that, I remember what I was trying to say, like, when we're giving information too, and I fall into this category, is like, I want to know all the information, but sometimes I can't even understand all the information that I get. So,
Yeah.
So the other point to this is that we could give you all the information in the world, but if you don't actually understand the information that we're trying to give you, you still might be mad at the fact that we might be withholding something that you may not even know. And that's not the case. We do a needs analysis. We want to make sure that you are on the right car, that we are fitting within your budget, and that if you need a protection plan, if you need one of our finance options, because it would just make sense for your lifestyle, then we're going to offer that. We're going to make sure we're transparent on that. But to say that we're going to gatekeep information here is not the case.
That's right.
That's what we're coming down to.
That's not the case, and we encourage you as a shopper or a buyer or a current owner, if you have questions, please ask, because every person has a different level of information that they want, right? So there's never a scenario where Mohawk Honda doesn't want to give the information, but the amount of information we give could be different per person because of what the customer wants, right? So, like, for example, I'll tell you, if I go like out to dinner or something, right, and I get a nice Italian meal and all this kind of thing, I'm the type of person that I just want to eat it and it tastes great, right? However, I might be with somebody, and maybe I'm with Nate, and he wants to know all the ingredients in there. You know, how long did you simmer this, and how long did you cook this, and what it, you know.
Yep.
And I can appreciate that, but I don't really. That's not important to me. It might be more important to him.
Yeah, I would
know?
say, you know, you get. That's a very good point, because I do sometimes.
You do well, yeah.
You know,
I mean,
it's like, what wine should I get with the steak that
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
get?
See,
right?
I never
Where did
asked
it
those
come
questions.
from? And what, you know, like, is it grass fed and grass finished? You know, who knows, right? But that's certainly the case. Is how much information does the person want?
Right. And so each person is a little different. I guess that's what we're getting at. So there certainly isn't any set rule about you know, how much information is given. There's no ceiling on that,
Right.
because one person may want more information than the next, and we're happy to oblige there. So and again, we can only speak for Mohawk Honda, but it's really interesting. That Reddit thread is so lengthy at this point because everybody's chiming in, whether it's people that work with that person, right? Like that work in the car business, or people that don't work in the car business.
Yep.
And, you know, and I'm sure you know nowadays, with every social media post, there are positives and there are negatives.
Yep.
You know, and just there's just human nature that you want to kind of just blurt it out because maybe it's on the. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. But we wanted to address it because that's kind of was the topic at hand, and we had a few people asking us if we had read it, so we figured there. No pun
We had
intended.
read
Pun
it?
intended. If we had read it or not, and so we figured we'd make that the content of today's show, and hopefully we addressed it enough. If you have any questions or
Show notes for you to take a look. And as always, this is Mohawk Table Talk, where we bring tips and tricks to you so you have a better understanding of how to buy a car, because we know that educated car buyers are the best car buyers, and this is probably one of those shows that kind of show how transparent we are being.
yeah, we really want to, and if we can come, Jay, every week from this patio up here, boy, this is beautiful. It's actually more
we'll try our
quiet.
best. It is quieter. With the we were up here earlier, and the the fire alarm, the fire station,
All right, so
was
that's-
like,
That's not.
and we're like,
quieter.
oh, okay, well, this is you know, not
it.
as conducive to a podcast, but hey, you know, that's what you get when you want to be outside. Amanda, hello, thank you for hopping on the podcast today. Appreciate you for saying. I hope you have a great day as well. Are there any other questions that we might be able to answer for people?
I don't think so. You know, if I can just leave a parting word, it's very important that when you spend any amount of money, especially for a vehicle, that you trust the person or the dealer that you're buying it from. We certainly want to be that dealer at Mohawk Honda. If you have any questions, whether it's about a specific vehicle or just kind of about our process, right? About how we go about things, you know, feel free to ask. Please ask. Any of our team members are happy to answer them. You're welcome to chime in, and either Nate or myself are happy to chat with you anytime, whether it's you know, virtually, online, or in the showroom. So we really appreciate all the confidence. We know that you like Mohawk Honda. That's why you're watching. So again, thank you to our audience. Regardless of what platform you're tuned in on, please continue to watch. And we do our best to come to you on Tuesdays, even though it's Friday today. So we're going to see you in a few
Well,
days.
if you like it on Fridays, hey, maybe we'll move it to Fridays. We'll see what happens.
That's
But thank you, everybody, for watching. This is Mohawk Table Talk. We're bringing the tips and tricks to you. And again, if you have any questions, leave them. Oh, there's a B. Leave them in the comments below and in the show notes, because we do look at those to make sure that we can answer any questions that you may have. But until next time, Mike and Nate, Mohawk Table Talk. We'll see you.